A blessed day, everyone. I am Aisel Gay Mahilom, and now we will be talking about research report. So, what is research report? It is all about a formal document that presents the findings of a research study. It is also written to communicate the results of an investigation or analysis in a clear, structured, and systematic manner. The research report also provides detailed information on the research process, methodologies, data collection, analysis, and the conclusions drawn from the study. It is typically aimed at an academic or professional audience, such as researchers or practitioners, and may be used for publications, presentations, or as part of a thesis. So now let's move forward to the types of research reports. So as I mentioned earlier, research reports can be classified based on the methodology used. First, the quantitative research. So it is all about collecting and analyzing data in a form of numbers. It is used when researchers want to measure something or compare groups in a more structured way. For example, a researcher might conduct a survey to find out how many people prefer to one product over another, and then use numbers to show the result. So this type of research often involves large groups of people and uses tools like surveys, tests, or experiments to gather measurable data. So by focusing on numbers, researchers can look for patterns, trends, and relationship between different factors, like how age or how incomes affect people's preferences. So what makes quantitative research powerful is it is the ability to produce results that are clear, objective, and easy to analyze. With these statistical methods, researchers can make sense of large amounts of data and draw conclusions that apply to a bigger population. So, qualitative research, on the other hand, is all about understanding people's thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a detailed way. Instead of focusing on numbers, it looks at the stories, interviews, and observations to explore how and why people behave the way they do. So this type of research, it helps us to dive into deep, complex, like emotions, personal experience, or social issues. For example, if researchers want to understand how many students feel about their academic journey, they might conduct one-on-one interviews or group discussion to gather a detailed insight. So the goal of research isn't to count how many people think something, but to truly understand their personal perspectives and what shapes their views. So the beauty of qualitative research, it is about that they allowed researchers to capture the depth of human experiences that can't be easily turned into numbers. So now, let's move on to forms and style in research report preparation. So it requires first, clarity of expression. In a research report, clarity of expression is crucial to ensure that the message is easily to understood by the reader. The language should be simple, straightforward, and free from unnecessary complexity or jargon that may confuse the audience. Also, clear writing means avoiding ambiguous phrases and using precise terminology and ensuring that each idea is conveyed in an understandable way. The goal is to make sure that the research findings, analysis, and conclusions are accessible to readers with varying levels of expertise on the topic. Next, the organized presentation. It refers to structuring the research report in a logical way and systematic way so that the reader can easily follow the progression of ideas. Each section of the report should have a clear purpose and flow smoothly from one to the next, whether it's the introduction, literature review, methods result, or conclusion. The proper organization helps the reader to understand how the research was conducted, how the data was analyzed, and how the conclusions were drawn. making it easier for them to engage with the content and follow the narrative of the study. Objectivity. So, objectivity is essential in research writing to maintain credibility and trustworthiness. The report should focus on presenting the facts, data, and analysis without introducing personal bias, opinions, or unverified claims. Objectivity means presenting findings based on evidence, allowing the data to speak for itself rather than trying to influence the reader's interpretation. By maintaining an objective tone, the researcher ensures that the report remains impartial, reliable, and scientifically sound, and allowing the readers to form their own conclusion based on the evidence presented. Lastly, the grammatical accuracy. It ensures that the research report is free from language errors, it contributing to its professionalism and readability. Proper grammar, punctuation, and sentence structure that make the report clear and easy to understand, and preventing misunderstanding or confusion that could arise from poorly written text. Accurate grammar not only improves the overall quality of the report, but also helps the writer to convey their ideas more effectively. In academic writing, attention to grammatical detail, it reflects a high level of professionalism and respect for the reader. So there are common formats and styles for research reports. The American Psychological Association, or also known APA. It is a leading professional organization that sets standards for academic writing and publishing in psychology and related fields such as social sciences and education. One of the key contributions of the APA is the development of APA style. It is a set of guidelines that helps writers to present their research in a clear, consistent, and professional manner. So this style includes specific rules for paper structure, formatting, citation, and referencing. Also, it ensures the research is presented in an organized and uniform way, which facilitates readability and academic integrity. So APA style is widely used in academic and professional writing to ensure that research findings are communicated clearly and that sources are properly attributed. The style includes detailed instructions for formatting elements like title pages, headings, margins, and font size, as well as guidelines for citing source both in text and in the reference list. By following APA style, writer ensures that their work adheres to academic standards and help prevents plagiarism. And also, it allows readers to easily trace and verify the sources of information used in the research. This consistency is especially important in scholarly communication, where clarity and precision are essential. Scholars like Johnson and Christensen 2000 outline the 7 major parts that are typically included in a research report. Each of these is served as a distinct purpose in presenting the study and its findings. So these components ensure that the research is clearly structured, transparent, and easy to follow for readers. First, the title page. The title page serves as the first impression of the research report, and it includes the title of the research, the author's name, and institutional or organizational details. For example, the university name. So the title should be concise and descriptive, clearly reflecting the focus of the study and allowing readers to quickly understand the main topic of the research. Second, the abstract. The abstract is a brief summary, typically in 150 to 250 words, of the entire research report. It gives readers a quick overview of the research problem, methodology, main findings, and conclusion. An effective abstract, it helps the readers determine whether the report is relevant to their interests or research needs, by saving time and guiding them to decide if they want to read the full report. Then, the introduction. In the introduction, the research problem is introduced and placed within a broader context. This section outlines the research questions or hypotheses and explains the study's objectives and significance. So, it often includes a review of the literature, identifying existing research and gaps that the current study aims to fill. The introduction sets up the purpose of the research and provides the rationale for conducting the study. The methods. The methods section details how the research was carried out. It includes information about the research design, the participants or subjects, sampling methods, and the tools or instruments used for data collection. For example, surveys and experiments. This section also describes the analysis procedures, explaining how the data was processed and interpreted. A well-written method section allows other researchers to replicate the study if they wish, ensuring the transparency and reliability. Next, the result. The results section presents the findings of the study without interpreting them. This section is often supplemented with tables, charts, and graphs to make the data clear and easier to understand. It also focuses on presenting the raw data, statistics, or other factual findings in an organized manner, and also allowing readers to understand what the study discovered. So now, let's move forward to discussion. The discussion section interprets the results, explaining their meaning in the context of the research question and existing literature. This part links the findings to the study's original objectives, compares them to previous studies, and highlights their significance. So the discussion also addresses the limitation of the study and suggests potential directions for future research. It also pointing out the areas that need further investigation or improvement. Lastly, the references. The references section lists all the sources that were cited throughout the research report. It includes books, articles, and other academic sources that used to support the research and its findings. The references should follow a specific citation, for example, the APA. It ensures consistency and proper attribution, so this section ensures that the research is based on a credible sources and allows readers to locate those sources if they want to explore them further. In summary, these 7 parts together create a cohesive and systematic structure for presenting research. It allowing researchers to share their work in a clear and professional manner and enabling readers to follow the logical flow of the study from the start to finish.
So good day everyone. My name is Maynard Aptito. So I am the second reporter. So today we will going to discuss the chapter 1. So when we say the chapter 1, it's more on introduction. Introducing your problem or introducing what you are going to want to aim or what you want going to want to solve this kind of problem. So in a chapter 1, we will going to see or we'll see the different parts that belong in the chapter 1. For instance, there's a many parts that we are going to see in the chapter 1. First is the background of the study. Second is the conceptual framework. Third is the statement of the problem, or they called SOP. Fourth is significance of the problem. Fifth is the scope and delimitation. Lastly is the definition of terms. So today, first, we will going to discuss the background of the study. Anyways, when we say introduction, it is you gives the reader background and context to convey the importance of your research or of your study or the goal that you want to achieve. So next, we'll discuss the background of the study. So when we say background of the study, it explains to the readers where your research journey started, why you got interested in the topic, and how you develop the research question that you will later specify, or that you will going to use it later. So, so next we're going to discuss what is conceptual framework. So when we say conceptual framework, it is the representation of the relationship rather you expect to see between your variables, or the characteristic, or the properties that you want to study, or this we call a tool. So in the framework, there's input, output, and the process. So when we say input, it is the profile of the respondents according to their name, age, sex, and your level. So next is output. Assess. It is about assess the level of how they respond this kind of tool, how they answer this kind of questionnaire. The process. So when we say process, it's more about data collection. The You're going to collect those answers that they answered. Okay. Next, that's all about the conceptual frameworks. Next, we're going to discuss what is statement of the problem, or they call SOP or SOP. So it means defines and describes the research hypothesis or question, along with broad method that will be used to solve the problem. So your statement of the problem must be reflective of the title. It should be stated in such a way that is not answerable by yes or no, not indicative of when and where. Rather, it should be reflect between and among variables. Next is each sub problem should cover mutually exclusive dimensions or no overlapping. Next is the statement of the problem must be the sub-problem should be arranged in logical order from actual to analytical, following the flow in the research paradigm. So that's about of the statement of the problem. So next we're going to discuss the scope and the limitation. So when we say scope, what it is all about what your study will explore, such as the target, the population, extent on the study. So when we say the elimination, it is the factors and variables not included in the study. So that's all about the scope and the elimination. Next, lastly, we will going to discuss the definition of terms. So when we say definition of terms, it works like a glossary but have a different twist. It is placed on the beginning of the research paper to tell the meaning of the terms used in the said paper. And also the definition of terms, only terms, words, or phrases which have special or unique meaning in the study that you are used in the research or in the paper to define what is the meaning of the certain words. So that's all about the chapter 1. So thank you for listening. Again, my name is Maynard Tito, so I am the second reporter. Bye bye.
Good afternoon, classmates. Good afternoon, Ma'am Apifa Abdu Hassan. My name is April Joy A. Molina, the last member to discuss our topic. I would like to begin by asking, what is an RRL in a research paper? You're familiar with RRL, right? So I'm positive that you have a small prior knowledge about RRL. So RRL in a research, it is the crucial part of the research paper because it helps you understand what's already been done on a topic and how your research will contribute something new. Okay? RL is an objective, concise, critical summary of published research literature relevant to a topic being researched in an article. So in an RL, you discuss knowledge and findings from existing literature relevant to your study topic. Okay?
So, why RRL is important in a research paper? First, it avoids duplication. So, by reviewing existing research, you can ensure you aren't simply repeating what's already been done. Okay? Second, it identifies gaps. You can pinpoint areas where there's lack of research or where existing research needs further exploration. Next, it provides context. It helps you understand the broader context of your research and if it fits within the existing body of knowledge. Next, it guides your methodology. So the RL can inform your research methods, data collection, and the analysis technique. So here is how to complete an RRL. First, you need to collect relevant literature, whether it's it off if it's offline or online resources. So first, online resources are the websites, articles, videos, and audio recordings, while the offline sources are the books, journals, and newspapers. Next is take notes and identify concepts of each source to describe in the review of the literature. Okay? So think of it like you're building a puzzle. Each source is a piece, and the key concepts are the shapes that fit together to create a complete picture. Okay, do you understand? So next is a good RL does not first simply summarizes sources because it goes beyond listing about each source says. Instead, it analyzes, compares, and contrasts different perspectives to create a cohesive understanding of the research topic. Next, RL does not lack a clear focus. It stays focused on the research question and only includes information directly relevant to the topic. Next, RL does not contain plagiarism. It properly cites all sources to avoid plagiarism and give credit where it's due. Okay? So next, a good RL does first present a brief typology. So this helps organize the research on your topic into meaningful categories, making it easier for readers to understand the different perspectives and approaches. So think of it like you're organizing your books by genres. Okay? Next, RL does summarizes. This involves concisely explaining the main points and finding each source. It's like giving a quick overview of each book you've read. Okay? So next is a good RL does synthesize. This is where you can go beyond summarizing and show how the different sources relate to each other. Okay? This is like comparing and contrasting different books within same genre. Okay? Next, a good RL does provides background of the field. This sets the stage of your research by explaining the context and history of the field. So it's more like understanding an evolution of particular genre of literature. Okay, next. So you asked me, how long is RL for a research paper? So the length of RL depends on its purpose and target readership, and it can vary significantly in scope and depth. So first we have here is the undergraduate research papers. So it typically range from 1,000 to 3,000 words, contains 4 to 12 pages. So next we have here is master's thesis. RL are more detailed and comprehensive, usually spanning 3,000 to 10,000 words. Next is doctoral dissertations. RRLs can be extensive, often ranging 8,000 to 20,000 words. Next and lastly is the journal articles. RRLs are concise and focused, typically ranging from 2,000 to 5,000 words. Okay? Okay, next. Building your literature review is like building a bookshelf because one way to conceive of a literature review is to think about writing it as you would build a bookshelf. You don't need to cut each piece from scratch. Rather, you can take pieces that the other researchers have cut out and put them together to build a framework on which to hang on your own books. That is your own study methods and results and the conclusions. Okay? So here are the steps in writing literature review. First step is choosing the topic to write about. So, in choosing your topic, choose a topic that you are familiar and highly interested in analyzing. A topic to your intended readers and researchers will find interesting and useful. A topic that is current, well established in the field, and also a topic about which there has been sufficient research conducted for a review. So, this will help you find the sweet spot for what to focus on. Next step, we have conduct a comprehensive research. This includes the scholarly articles, books, dissertations, conventions, conferences, and theses. These and any other academic work related to your area of study is called the literature. Third step is evaluate and select sources. Use thought maps and charts to identify intersections in the research and to outline important categories. Select the material that will be most useful to your review. Okay? Next step is organize and structure your literature review. Determine 2 to 3 important concepts that are discussed in the literature. Take notes about all of the important aspects of the study relevant to the topic being reviewed. Alright? So, next step is show how the literature relates to your study. In a literature review intro for an article, this information might be include a summary of the results or methods of previous studies that correspond to and confirm to those sections in your own study. Okay? The next step is connect your ideas to the literature. So this is essentially the same as the step 5, okay? But it is focused on the connections between the literature and the current study of guiding concepts or arguments of the paper. Not only the connections between the works themselves, your hypothesis, argument, or guiding concepts is the golden thread that will ultimately tie the works together and provide readers with specific insights they didn't have before reading your literature review. So you have to make sure you know where to put the research questions, hypothesis, or statement of the problem in your research paper so that you guide your readers logically and naturally from introductions of earlier work and evidence to the conclusion you want them to draw from the bigger picture.